Hi there. In this video we'll learn about light. First of all, I have a question. How do we see things? So probably you might have the answer eyes. But what if I switch off the bulb with which you are able to see the objects in your room? You'll not be able to see anything and just dark. So now we understand that light enables us to see the objects around us. Suppose we have a source of light. It reflects the light to the object to which we have to give the light. The object again reflects the light to our eyes, and hence we are able to see the object. That's how everybody sees the things around us. So from this we learn that light always travels in a straight line. Suppose you enter a dark room and there is just a little opening from the door or from a window. Then you can see that light enters through just a straight line. From this again we can learn that light always travels in a straight line. Recap: light travels in a straight line. Light helps us to see things around us. We can only see something if it emits light or reflects light. Lastly, we learned that we are able to see because the object was reflecting light. Now let's learn about laws of reflection. Let's take a surface, any plane surface. An ray of light is going towards the surface and hits the surface at this point. Starting from this point, it hits to this point and gets reflected down towards there and continues forward till another end it meets. So we can probably understand just by seeing that this angle will also be equal to this angle. Now what if we draw perpendicular to the surface? We can also learn that this angle will be equal to this angle. Why? Because these both angles are 90 degree, and we now saw that these both angles near to the surface are also equal. So these both angles are also equal. So this angle which is formed with this perpendicular line when the ray of light hits to the surface is called as angle of incidence. And the angle formed by the ray of light which is reflected from the surface with the perpendicular drawn to the surface is called as angle of reflection, which is denoted by the letter R. Letter I, angle of incidence; letter R, angle of reflection. We also have names to these two rays. The ray of light that hits to the surface is called as the incident ray, and the ray of light that gets reflected from the surface is called as reflected ray. These perpendicular drawn from the surface is called as normal. From this we get a law that angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. This law is true in all the circumstances. Let's learn the second law of reflection. It is the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal lie in the same plane. So the question of plane arises when we do something in a 3D way. When we do something in a 3D way, it's just that incident ray, reflected ray and normal will be in the same plane. But when we draw anything on a paper or when the teacher writes on the blackboard, it is just going to be something like a 2D. Hence, second law will only be applicable for 3D. Third law of reflection. The incident ray and reflected ray are on opposite sides of normal. If the normal is in the center, the normal incident ray and reflected ray will be on its opposite side. Okay, thank you, and don't forget to watch the other parts of